Game Day Jays, episode number 4. I'm your host, Nick Jambrozik, and please, if you like the content, like, comment, subscribe means so much. I know I'm just starting out, and every little bit helps. We're back in Houston for game number 2 today, and babe, fucking Schneider, are you kidding me? Let's fucking go, buddy. You made my night, and you are my hero, buddy. Watch out, Varsho, because that mustache is coming in hot, and he's looking for your job, because I know he had a little mistake today in left field, but that was a tough play, and the fact that his bat is swanging, yours is not. So are we going to see Babe Schneider as an everyday player in left field soon? I mean, Varsho, you better get that back going, because otherwise we might be seeing a lot more of them. And from what I've been reading on the comments online and on Instagram, and from all you Jays fans, is you want to see more of him, and you want him in that day-to-day lineup. So we'll see what John Schneider has to do. And I don't know. That guy's so unpredictable. Who knows these days? But thank God I have great friends, because last night I didn't have to put myself through that game. And I was happy I really didn't get to see any of it. I tuned in for the last 2 outs, and tip of the cap, again, Ronel Blanco, no-hitter. It's awesome, man. They are so hard to come by nowadays in the MLB, just due to pitch count, how good the hitters are, and everything. We stunk yesterday, clearly. I'm glad I didn't get to see those at-bats, but like I said, you don't get to see them too often, and good for you. I would have loved to watch it. It's always a pleasure seeing a pitcher on his A game, and we got another A game pitching matchup tonight. But before we get into that, what do we think of Francis? I know he gave up some runs early last night, and he wasn't on his best, and he didn't have his best stuff. But do you think he's going to be on a short leash? I think so. One guy I'd love to see, who I know we're not going to bring him up because management doesn't know what the fuck they're doing half the time, is Ricky Tiedemann. We got one of the best, if not the best pitching prospects, wasting his time in AAA, or as you say, getting better and working on his pitches and learning how to pitch to these big league guys. But then I'm hearing, Buck and all these Sportsnet guys on the TV saying the comparison between MLB right now and AAA is as far apart as it's been ever. And how are you supposed to get better and work on things if you're not facing the best hitters? Bring him up. This guy's been pitching his whole life. I'm not the biggest fan of, easing pitchers into the game. Like, he's ready to go. He knows how to throw a ball. If he sucks, let him work it out. But I want to see our best pitching prospect on the mound. And, I hope Bowden Francis has a bounce back start next game. I know he did a pretty good job over spring training. He earned that 5th starter spot. But he's going to have a short memory. Forget about it. It's all right. Just one game. And got to give it to the Astros yesterday. We just got our asses kicked, and not much you can do against a pitcher who throws no hitter, honestly. But even Manoah, I think Manoah could potentially bring some attention to that 5th starter spot. So Bowden, we'll see what you got next game. I think you're going to be on a short leash, but all the best to you, man. Now let's jump into today's game, because I really don't want to talk about yesterday's game. It's gone and over with. After reading the comments yesterday, Jays fans were still giving up on the team, but what's new? I was at the Leaf game, but it sure felt like I was surrounded by a lot of Jays fans, because you guys are almost exactly the same. Luckily, I'm not the biggest Leaf fan in the world, but man, 5 games in writing the team off, I know we didn't pick up a lot of guys. I was kind of mad about it. Not really, because for what there was offered out there, it was a lot of money. I know there was some good deals later on and closer to the season, like Blake Snell. That was a guy that we easily could have paid for. $60 million is pocket change for today's time. I know it's still a lot of money, but for a pitcher of that caliber, that was pocket change. But I'm glad we didn't overspend again, because we've done that in years past, and really a couple of years ago. And we've signed guys that weren't top tier for that kind of money. We still got great players out of it, but we didn't need to just go after guys to go after guys. We had to trust our core, and I think we're going to have a pretty darn good season, but we're going to have to get used to the up and downs, because this is a team that's going to be streaky. We're going to have those games where we look like absolute dog shit, and we're just going to have to accept it. I know it's frustrating, And we still got another, I'd say, 2 weeks before I really start losing my shit when we start doing these performances. But right now, I'm going to let it slide because all I want is to go home with a 500 record or better, because that's all we need. We are playing 3 really good ball clubs to start the season. We got 10 games on the road against all World Series contenders, really. So if we could figure out a way just to get through at 500, which we are right now, go for the series win tomorrow, and then all we need to do is win 1 game in New York because those guys are looking hot right now. I do not want to play them. I hope, I forget whoever they're playing, but I hope they lose a couple games or get spanked and have some kind of bad energy going into that series. But let's get on to this game today because George Springer, congrats. Congrats on 10 years in the show. Only 10% of guys reach this milestone, and you got your full pension too. Not like you need it, but you got it. It's a huge milestone, and George, congrats. Wish you all the best, and look forward to watching you this season because it looks like you're going to be heating up and carrying this team a little bit. Don Mattingly, another change today. Shave the big beard. I love the old school superstitions. Got a shit game yesterday, no hit. So get rid of the beard, try something new, get all the bad juju out of the air. Kind of worked today. But what a pitching match. If you guys like pitching, which I absolutely love it, I'll take a good pitching matchup over a blowout home run game any day. I know Jays fans like to see the team hit, and I get it. They're exciting when they hit. But at the same time, we got a lot of good pitchers, and we went up against another fantastic pitcher today. Valdez was looking to bounce back after giving up 3 earned runs and 6 walks in his first start. And Barrios was looking to continue with another good performance after that solid start in Tampa Bay. We had Bichette back in the lineup, which was a good thing to see. His neck looked okay. He was saying he couldn't even look at the pitcher the other day when he was taking batting practice, but it was nice to see him back in the lineup. And Valdez was nasty today. We saw an all-star caliber pitcher at his best. His breaking ball is nasty. That spin rate is off the charts. It bites so hard, and he was just picking corners, and his 2-seam was working well. It wasn't breaking down as much as it normally does, so I was hoping we'd get a little lucky on that with some flatter swing planes and it leading out towards the end of the barrel to get some hits, but man, was he ever on with his location today. Valdez, he was hitting his spots well, and the one thing that he's great at is getting a lot of ground balls. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought there. He's a ground ball pitcher. He had like 8 of the first 12 outs as ground balls. And when you got a guy throwing like that, you can't really blame the team. If we tried to have a patient at bat at the start, which we've been working on a bit more, he was taking advantage and getting it up ahead early. And then once we had 2 strikes on, the guy was lights out. And if we swung early, we were getting ground balls. So it really wasn't a winning recipe today. Can't blame the guys too much at the plate. But Justin Turner, have a fucking day again. He is as advertised and then some. Another 3-hit night, reach base 4 times. Dude's killing it this year. Can't wait to see more of that as well. Barrios, good start. Good fucking start, man. These guys were going toe-to-toe. Their pitch counts were phenomenal. I know Barrios didn't have his best stuff tonight. That slider, curveball, slurve, whatever you want to call it, was not working for him. I mean, the guys were not biting at it, and he was not throwing it for strikes. So it was just not an effective pitch, and that really hurt him as he was trying to set guys up because he couldn't use that to get him in a fastball count or get him in a changeup count. I would have liked to see him use his changeup a little bit more, but it looked like he was fighting himself out there too. So I'll talk a bit more about that later. But hey, I've talked about this a couple times so far. We threw out our first 2 base runners tonight. Let's go. I know it was weird, and we had a guy that fell running to second base. We threw him out, which was great, and Altuve made a shitty base running mistake going too far off at third base. We threw him back, but we got 2 guys. Good things happen, man. We finally got some luck on our side because there was a lot of weird things tonight, and they went in our favor. So, without further ado, let me get a sip of water, and we will get into this game inning by inning, pitch by pitch. So, man, is it ever better? Is it ever good to have Bo Bichette back in the lineup? Because first inning, guy gets on base. We needed that last night. I think it could have helped somehow, but honestly, we were so dead last night. But it was nice to have him. Vintage Bo driving the ball the other way. And then a hard hit ball down the line by Turner. I love the aggressive start. Like, he hit it all the way to the wall. Bo is not a slow guy. He was using his wheels, and Astros just made a great relay play, throwing it home to get us out. But hey, can't complain about the start of the game. And then in the bottom of the first inning, Barrios, 6-pitch inning. Guy came out hot. I mean, threw a high fastball to Altuve that first at bat. Got lucky with that one. Luckily, we got out with no damage there. And yeah, we got out of that first inning well. Both pitchers came out good. And then on to the second inning. Valdez is good, man. Like Buck was saying, we're lucky his two-seam was flat tonight, because if it was sinking, I think it would have been even worse for the Jays, even though we didn't really touch it tonight. His curveball was elite. He was showing it off, and we looked silly. That was about it for the top of the second. Going to the bottom of the third inning, 3 up, 3 down. Again, 20 pitches through 2 innings. Both these pitchers were using their pitch count extremely effective. We had a pitching battle on our hands tonight, and I was loving it. Third inning, top of the inning. We started off with a hit by pitch to get a guy on, and then we ended up getting a double play, followed by a ground out. He's insane at getting ground ball outs. It's not even funny. Yeah, that was it for the third. Going on to the bottom of the third. What a fucking play by Springer. That was a hard hit ball. Well, not a hard hit ball, but that was like in the gap. Springer was hustling to that baseball, cut it off beautifully, and made a quick and accurate throw to second base, threw out the runner. And both teams got really nice throwing assists to get out guys. So that was really nice to watch. And then 3 up, 3 down. Barrios was working that new cutter. He was using it okay. I didn't like certain spots that he was using it in, but he didn't use it too much. So it was nice to see him working it in slowly and getting used to that pitch before he really started throwing it in crucial moments. But yeah, good start with it. Going on to the top of the fourth inning. That was a beautiful charging play by Pena. Tough short chopper in the infield, running across. He's a great shortstop. I got to give it to the guy. Turner with another double down the line after that. That guy is swinging the bat so good. And what can I say? I'm happy we picked him up. He was a great pickup for kind of a Brandon Belt replacement, and he's going to be better than Belt. I loved Belt last year, don't get me wrong. That guy got so many walks, and he got on base so much. He was just a good leader to have when we needed guys on base to hit him in, but we couldn't really do that last year. And it's nice to see we're kind of getting back to that this year, even though we're a little streaky. But yeah, Justin Turner, great game again today. We're going to go through a few more of his hits later. Like I mentioned earlier, 8 of 12 outs through the fourth inning have been grounders, 37 pitches through 4. Back to the bottom of the fourth. The fuck are you doing, Barrios, giving Jose Altuve a high fastball? Again, he almost burned you in the first inning on that pitch, and you come back to it? Guy, no doubter. That was absolutely crushed. Moonshot to left field. That was really his worst pitch of the night, and that's okay, because he had a great game. That was the only run he gave up, and we got out of that inning with a double play and a ground out. So other than that pitch, he knows he made a mistake there. But even some other pitchers later in the game, like, why are we pitching an Astros team who is a good high pitch fastball or high pitch hitting team? Why are we not working them lower in the zone? So it would have been nice to see a little better pitch selection there. But whatever, one run. He knew he had a bad pitch there, so bounced back, got over it. Going to the bottom of the fifth inning. It was a pretty good at bat for Kirk to start the inning. Worked some pitches, tried to get that pitch count up because, God, we needed that. But then Framber had him absolutely fooled on that last pitch. Kirk was way ahead of it. Got the strikeout. Ernie had a nice line drive single that inning. Ernie's been swinging it really well. He's got a really nice compact swing. So Ernie's going to be a huge guy in the lineup. I wonder how it's going to be now that Davis Schneider has hit 2 bombs. Wonder what John Schneider's going to do with that, 3-man rotation, because IKF, Biggio, and Ernie and Schneider, those are going to be some tough guys to choose from. Like I said before, I want to see Biggio consistently in the lineup because I think when he does play consistently, he's a big lefty bat to have. We don't have a lot of them, and we're going to need him a lot this year. But yeah, it's going to be great watching these four guys fight for their spots, and whoever's hot, we got to roll with them. But at that point, we needed to get Valdez off his game. After that line drive single, I really wanted to see a hit and run. I know it's a lefty pitcher, and I hated running on lefties just because they're staring at you at first base and they got that high leg kick, and you don't know if they're coming to you or you don't know if they're going home, and you really just got to guess. Some guys are really good at picking it up, but most of the time, first movement, you're gone. It would have been nice to see a little more aggressive play at the start of the game just to try to throw Framber off his game, and that's something I think we needed to do today. We needed to try to lay down some bunts, or when we did have guys on, rarely against him, we needed to do something with it. So, John, please get more aggressive. They talked about you saying you wanted to be more aggressive this year, but I'm not seeing it. So, let's get it done soon. After that, Valdez got into that inning, no problem. And going to the bottom of the fifth, I got quite a bit of stuff written down here. But I didn't like that Berrios pitch selection first batter. He started good, got to 1-2, then he threw back-to-back sliders away in the zone, and he was not hitting that pitch all night. They were a good 6 inches off the plate, and Houston, they're a good hitting ball club. They knew just anytime they saw that pitch, lay off. Until he starts throwing that for strikes, take your balls all day long. Then he missed a fastball on the inside for a double after that. So the fact that that setup pitch wasn't there for him, Houston was just kind of sitting fastball, and they were taking advantage in some certain spots. So next start, I'd like to see Berrios just with a bit better pitch selection, and hopefully he's got better command of that slurve and get a little better with location on that cutter, because that cutter I think is going to prove to be a very effective pitch for him. So if he can get all those pitches working and mix up his changeup just a bit more to throw off that timing, I think he's going to have a hell of a season. He's had 2 fantastic starts so far, so keep up the momentum with that. Another thing about Berrios, though, is it looked like he was fighting his body tonight. He was almost opening up a little bit early on that pitch delivery and falling off to the left, kind of what Manoah does a lot, which is what I think is his biggest problem, even though that's his natural pitching move. But yeah, it looked like he was fighting his body. But when he did drive off the mound and finish towards that plate and had really good mechanics, those last 2 low fastballs to get the inning-ending double plate were fantastic. So he knew those were good pitches. I'm sure he felt it, and he's just got to work with Pete a bit more to make sure he's doing that every single pitch of the game. 6th inning, 1-2-3 inning. I was hoping the top of the order could do some damage, because the thing with these guys, we don't need everyone to be hitting. We just need guys to get on base for the guys that are hitting, because we're only going to have maybe 1 or 2 guys that are seeing the ball well that game. It's great when everyone's seeing the ball, but that's all we need is a couple guys seeing the baseball well, and the rest of the team doing whatever they can to get on base for those guys. So, I mean, that thought proved to be effective, because we went 1-2-3 with Springer, Vladdy, and Bo, and what did Turner do to lead off the next inning? Got another hit. Would have been nice to see with guys on base. But before we get to that, we're going to go to the bottom of the 6th inning. I didn't mind that walk to Altuve. You can't let him beat you again. He was that guy for the Astros. He was seeing it the best. And if we got to put him on first base just so we don't get another home run hit off us by him, that's fine. Again, we got burned out of a double play ball with Houston on putting a hit and run on. Teams are playing aggressive on us, and I'm not looking forward to what the Yankees have to do, because I think they're going to do the same to us. So we really have to be solid defensively and keep notice with who's on base. But the third out to Bregman was one of his best pitch selections of the night for Berrios. Finally hit the outside corners with his slurve. Got chinced a bit on some few really good pitches on the inside of the plate. The umpire was calling Berrios a little tighter than Valdez. We'll see on the umpire scorecards when it releases later tonight. But he worked well. He used the fastball well and got out of the inning with a ground ball on a 3-2 count. Had 76 pitches through 6 innings. You cannot ask for anything more from that guy. He pitched incredible tonight. And then, 7th inning, Turner. Have a day. 3 for 3 at that point. After that, Schneider got called out on strikes. He checked that swing. Bad call by the ump. We got a little screwed on that, but that was about the only play that went wrong for us. So the fact that we had some good things going for us, and if that was the only thing that went wrong, I'm okay with it. But the fucking ground ball by Kirk up the middle, anybody other than him can beat out a ground ball. This is where I'm like, man, why did we give up Gabriel Moreno? Because we like got to beat it out no problem. But other than that, like, Kirk will be all right this year. I don't want to hate on him too much yet. 1-2-3 inning again. Valdez was cruising, 73 pitches through 7 innings. Going to the bottom of the 7th, walk and a long single to start the inning. First and third, no out. That was the end of Barrios' night. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep screwing up that name. It's Barrios. And this is where I will give John Schneider credit. I was not his biggest fan. I still am not his biggest fan. I don't really like how he manages the team. I'm hoping for him to get better this year. But he put in pitchers in great situations and utilized the team very well tonight. Jimmy Garcia came in, and this was the first time we really got to see the bullpen in close game situations, and they balled out tonight. Good pitch by Jimmy at the start to get a weak fly ball, 1 out, pop up, 2 down, and let's fucking go Jimmy with a strikeout to end the inning. First and third, no outs, no problem for Jimmy. Absolutely love to see it. Yeah, great outing. 8th inning, I'm typing in this. Oh, how nice would it have been to see our first bunt? Because Kevin Kiermaier tried. I think we had a guy on at that point. He got an inside pitch when he tried to show it, so he had to pull off. But some guys just have to take it into their own hands. Don't let the coach call it for you. Just lay down that bunt. At this point, we needed to get something going, and we finally got Valdez out of the game. But, okay, yeah, we got Valdez out of the game who was throwing an absolute gem. And who do we get next? World Series caliber, incredible, one of the best closers in the league, Ryan Presley. Guy's a stud. Great play by Bregman to end the inning. Tough guy to go up against. They were throwing some great arms. Every single guy we've seen this series has been on their game up until the last inning. But yeah, we've been seeing some tough pitching, so I can't be too hard on the hitting because good pitching wins ball games. We know that. We have good pitching. We've seen it. Please understand that. And then the 8th inning is where shit gets a little wild. Altuve led off, and it was a bit of a better pitch. But Jimmy, why are we still throwing high fucking pitches down the middle of the plate to Altuve? He's burned us almost 3 times on that pitch, and he's the only guy hitting the ball. He's seeing it well. That pitch was a beach ball for him. Yeah, it was like hit to the weirdest part of the park. David Schneider had almost ran into the wall in that corner. It's peeled off, and it hit the wall coming down. Dude, that's a tough catch for anyone. But oh my God, that was a tough way to start the inning. Pitching change at that point to Tim Meza. I still don't know how I feel about Tim Meza this year. The fact that he's our only lefty in the pen right now with Cabrera being suspended is not my favorite thing in the world. He got lucky that Alvarez got under that pitch because Alvarez was ready to take that ball for a ride. It could have easily been a 3-0 game at that point. But we got Schneider pulled in for a 5-man infield at that point. I kind of like that play by John Schneider because we had a runner on third. What was it? 1 out. We could not afford to let that guy come home. This is a close game. We are still in this. It is not over. And any ball hit to the outfield is a run. So bring a guy in. Worst you're going to give up is a double. But who cares? That runner on third base is our main focus. And we ended up getting, big pop-up for 2 outs. And then a pitching change again. Chad Green came in the game. But while he was coming into the game, after Kirk got that pop-up, what was going on? I didn't even know how that guy got to second base at first. I guess he stole second while Kirk caught that pop-up. That was just a weird kind of debacle of things, and Pete Walker was fuming in the dugouts. At least we got one coach that's passionate and yells at the umpires. Schneider, take notes. I want to see a little more passion towards the umpires this year. But then we finally threw out a base runner. Altuve. another bad base running mistake. He got hit by the ball earlier in the game while he was running the third for an out. I don't know how he does that. That was just weird to see from him. He's a better player than that. And then a terrible base running mistake. Guy took way big of a lead. And Kirk, two guys thrown out tonight. Take it and run. Use it as confidence. And let's keep it going. So ninth inning comes. At this point, I was getting really nervous. My hopes were still there. But I don't know. These guys haven't scored a run in 15. No, I'm terrible at math right now. In 17 innings. And I mean, this is what you pay for. Down by one. Ninth inning. Heart of the order with Vlad leading off. Let's fucking go, Vladdy. Hard hit ball for the single. Getting a guy on with no outs. Bo hit in to the third double play of the night. At this point, 2 outs. Coming down to Babe Schneider. You should see what I have here. It's just, let's fucking go, Babe Schneider. 2-run bomb. Crushed an absolute meatball of a pitch. Slider down the deck. Hit it to the moon. Babe, I love you. Keep it up. Oh my God, incredible. And at this point, I'm like, oh, I could just see it in the comments now. Jays fans are going to go absolutely nuts when we blow this game. But Chad Green stepped up in the ninth. We got the first guy on. It was a tough short hop for Vladdy. And I'm really not used to seeing him do that. That's twice now that we've seen 2 balls thrown in the dirt that he hasn't picked. He's got a great glove, and I know he's going to get that back, but hopefully that's the last of these errors. Bo made a great play. The throw was on target. Vladdy's just got to pick that. But Chad's fastball looked solid tonight. He was really commanding that well, and I love the fact that he was not going to miss middle, or up. He had some real good zip on that fastball, and I know he got behind in the count for the first 2 batters, but he really worked his way back, and that was the ball game. Jays win. What a comeback. What a comeback. Does that give you a bit more faith in this team or what? So going on tomorrow, we got game 3 again at 8:10 p.m. We got Bassett on the bump for his second start of the season with Christian Javier as his competitor. Since I fucked up the other day, I had my first interview of the series, and it was with Brett Chansey from Locked On Astros. Guy's an absolute beauty. He's a pro at what he does. We had a phenomenal interview together, and I fucked up the audio so bad where I couldn't even fix it. So I have him coming back on the show tomorrow before the start of tomorrow's game. So we will be on live pregame talking about the first 2 games. I'm sure he's got a lot to say about that no-hitter, and we're going to have a good conversation about today's game. So stay tuned for that, and I'll be live again following the game for another Jays recap. Hopefully we can get the series win and head to New York on a high, because we sure need to, facing those Bronx Bombers. They look scary this year. Let's kind of burst that bubble a little bit going there. But thanks again for watching. We will see you again tomorrow. And Jays fans, have some faith. All right? Have a good night and peace.